My guest is Luke Fox, LSI 2023. Luke, thanks for coming by the studio.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me more about what your company's up to. You're coming into an exciting time of your clinical trial. Tell me more.
Absolutely. So Next Life Sciences, we're developing one of the world's first male birth controls.
It's about time.
It is about time. And it's really responding to the massive demand from men that are saying, hey, we need something that's not just trying to replace hormonal birth control for women and give that to men, but truly provide a sensible, effective, and safe solution, which means something that's non-hormonal, that's long-lasting, right? So you set it and you forget it, and is reversible on demand whenever you want.
But it sounds like the roots of this is not something that came out of the United States or came out of one of our big research institutes. Where are the roots of your company set?
Yeah, the technology has been in development for a long time, since 1979. This technology actually comes out of India through their labs there, where they've been trying to solve this problem. They have a massive need in India and around the world to say, how do we enable men to be able to participate in family planning? And so in that development, they found that there's a lot of ways to optimize that. It was then brought to the United States 10 years ago and has been in preclinical studies over the last 10 years, including most recently a 2-year baboon study, which is like the gold standard for non-human primates, showing that this technology can be seen as both safe and effective.
So have you happened to have one of these devices with you?
I just happen to have some here. So this technology is known as Plan A. You like the name? So Plan A, because it's really about showing that this should be the default solution. You can see it here. So it's a quick, simple injection of this hydrogel. And you can see the hydrogel, it's in liquid form now. It's made up of mostly water, over 90% water. And once it's injected into the vas deferens, it's a quick, simple 10-minute pain-free procedure, right, of that injection into the vas deferens. And in doing so, creates a flexible filter. That flexible filter filters out all of the sperm, allows all the other fluid to pass through. Doesn't have any change to ejaculation. I like to say, all of the juice, none of the seed.
So it's literally a hydrogel that sets up and causes the blockage.
Exactly. And as it causes that, we've seen studies of up to 13 years of effectiveness. So showing that should last well over 10 years for men to be able to have it injected, and it's a set it and forget it. Again, 10-minute pain-free procedure leading to what we're aiming for 10 years of protection. And at that point, you can then renew it or get it reversed.
And what's the reversal procedure look like?
The reversal is, again, another just quick 10-minute doctor's visit of an injection of simple sodium bicarbonate. And that sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, right? It creates a chain reaction that then turns it from a solid, flexible solid, back into this liquid form. And then it just gets flushed out and you're ready to go. And especially when you compare that to, people talk about vasectomies. And vasectomies, in order to get a vasectomy reversed, costs on average about $10,000. And it's a 3-hour microsurgery that has a 50-50 chance of working most of the time. Whereas with this, it's safe, it's simple, and effective.
That's incredible. So Fox, where is the company right now? What stage are you in? And you're here at LSI. Are you raising money? Are you trying to get more people enrolled? What's the state of the company right now?
Yeah, so right now we're raising our Series Seed in order to fund our final clinical trial. And that clinical trial we're kicking off at the end of this year, 2023.
That's incredible. So tell me more about the baboon study. Where was that conducted? How do you have so much confidence in that? That sounds like a great breakthrough.
Absolutely. So the baboon study was done here in the United States, and it was showing that you can take this technology that was done in India, and in India they did it slightly differently. So when they inject into the vas deferens, they line the inside of the walls of the vas deferens with the hydrogel. This hydrogel in India was called Rysug. Here in the United States, it's called Vasalgel. A lot of people probably have heard of Vasalgel. That is what Next Life Science has the worldwide exclusive license to, and that's what we're commercializing as Plan A. But in India, they line the inside of the walls of the vas deferens, so as the sperm passed by it, the sperm were destroyed. That made it classified as a pharmaceutical. What's so exciting about what we've demonstrated here, working with various nonprofits, most prominently the nonprofit that brought it to the United States, which is Parsons Foundation, incredible pioneers in this space, they showed that instead of just lining the inside of the walls with the hydrogel, if you create an occlusion it's even more effective, more safe, and it becomes then a medical device, which is a much clearer pathway through the FDA.
Oh, you're kidding me. Pharmacology has a more difficult pathway than a med device?
Right?
Shocking.
And about $1 billion less.
About $1 billion less and another 20 years on your life.
Yes, truly. And that's what's so exciting about this. And that's what Parsons Foundation, what they pioneered, is taking something that was a long, complicated regulatory pathway that was being done in India and said, hey, let's simplify this. Let's optimize this and design it for manufacturability. That's what they've been doing for the last 10 years. And now they said, we've de-risked it. Now it's about commercializing. And that's where Next Life Sciences has stepped in to bring our commercialization team to now bring it not just to the United States, but to bring it to many people around the world. Right? There's half the world population is a man. And when we look at the problem set, right, half of all pregnancies are unplanned. Like, that's insane. Like, when we think about all of the amazing medical technologies and machine learning and all these crazy advances that are coming to the world, and yet we still, no matter where you are in the world, half of all pregnancies are unplanned. And I believe that's because we've ignored half of the entire population, men, right? Men have been completely ignored by contraceptives. And when you look at the amount of men that are trying to participate, over 80% of men are saying, hey, over here, I would like to be able to participate in family planning.
Yeah, I love the way that the shift to go from we're going to have this liner that's going to act like it's going to be a spermicide, basically.
Precisely.
To it's a filter. And I love that. I remember, it brings to mind one of my clients, a long time ago from Dr. Fogarty. And it was, we don't have to stop everything to go into the lungs. Yes. The lungs can handle a lot of material. We just got to be small enough. So it doesn't have to be an occlusion. It don't have to block completely. You can let some material go by. It just can't be too big. So I love that. It's a great thing about medical devices.
Yes, that's exactly it. So we allow all the seminal fluid to be able to pass through while still filtering out the sperm. And so there's absolutely no change to ejaculation or to volume or anything that would be anywhere noticeable, except, again, none of the sperm. And that's what makes the clinical trials such a straightforward process. Because many other male contraceptive devices and pharmaceuticals are doing things like confusing the sperm, making them swim in circles, right, decreasing to a technical level of infertility. Whereas with Next Life Sciences, with our Plan A technology, it reduces sperm count to 0. And so that by designing it to reduce the sperm count to 0 makes the clinical trials very straightforward. We don't have to prove fertility. We just have to prove there's no sperm in the ejaculate.
Yeah, I think it's a great lesson for all the companies that are here, and I love what Scott Pentel does at LSI. Mm-hmm. This is a great lesson. You plan your trip through FDA. They're not going to tell you what the endpoint is.
Yes.
You tell them what you're going to do and prove it and bring the evidence, and they'll tell you whether or not you met that or not. And I think this is a great story for it. Pick an endpoint that is very easy to verify. 0 is very easy to verify.
Truly. And as we look at all the amazing companies that are here at LSI, it's really incredible to see the innovations and how they're really pioneering all of these new fields and helping to not just be subject to the FDA, but truly partner with the FDA to create real innovation that solves these massive problems that millions of people face. And family planning being a massive one, especially when you look at the health consequences to women when they are subjected to only single solutions that are primarily hormonal.
Yeah, I think that's another one. It seems like what we've been doing for birth control, the women pay a very heavy price. Biologically, you're putting something into their body that they have to deal with. So you look at, kidney load, liver load, everything. It's got to be dealt with. It's not just doing that work. It's also a burden to the rest of their system. So this sounds like, why not let the men put their shoulder to the wheel?
Truly, and let men be able to participate. Right? We believe that women should be able to freely participate and and be able to use birth control. It's a great thing. Birth control was, The Economist actually said in 1999, the single biggest innovation of the 20th century was not the internet. It was not all of these other things you might think, but it was female birth control. And I believe as we look back on the 21st century, is our generation, our lifetime, that many will say that the biggest, most significant innovation of the 21st century was male birth control. Because what male birth control allows is for that inclusive participation, not just for women, but truly for men to be able to not just share the burden, but to alleviate the burden, especially when we talk about safe, effective, non-hormonal male contraception.
Maybe you touched on this, but hit me again, the economics between vasectomy and your injectable.
So a vasectomy is a one-time procedure. It's designed to be permanent. And the key thing is that the majority of men that are getting vasectomies are 45 to 65, people who are child complete. The reason why we're called Plan A and this technology is so exciting is because we're focusing on men who are in committed relationships primarily, who are saying, right now, I'm not trying to have a child, right? Or people who are going into college and saying, hey, like, I know I definitely for the next few years don't want a child, but at some point in the future, I may want one. It enables them to be able to participate in ways that they can't right now. Vasectomies are designed for people who are child complete, who are saying, I don't want any more children.
Is there anything else you want to share with us today?
Well, I welcome anyone to join us and sign up at our website for plana4men.com. Definitely check us out. I'd love to connect with anybody who is interested in learning more.
Fox, thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.